I thought we'd start with just, you guys probably curious about this, my X-Alps kit. So this is basically exactly what I had last time around, minus the wing. I flew the Ice Peak 7 last time, which was just the standard wing. I freaked out about a week before the event, now maybe 2 weeks, that I was on the Peak 3, the lightweight version Peak 3, and I just wanted more bar performance, and it looked like it was going to be a bit windy, and I called Niviuk, and they were like, "Are you kidding me? You want a white wing in a week?" But they pulled it off. So I carried a regular wing, which was about 2 kgs heavier than what everybody else had. I was really happy that I did that because I was really happy with the wing, and I'm a 2-liner guy. But this time I'm flying the Climber, so this is like a little bit less than 3.4 kg with the wing. And then I've got the X-Alps, the Supair X-Alps harness, which is 1.1 without the pad, about 1.5 with the pad. So everything all up is about 8 kgs, pretty light. So carbon trekking poles, some kind of warm clothing. They make you fly with the jersey, like a speed sleeves, sunblock, water, and I've always got electrolyte of some kind in my water. Just to help keep you from bonking. Some kind of carbs. These are just examples. I've actually eaten a lot more real food this time around than just sugar all the time. Sun hat, helmet. This wouldn't be the X-Alps helmet because it's got to be certified. This is just my flying helmet. Gloves, buff, which has my name on it. This is pretty neat. It's one of my sponsors. Spare battery. This got us in a lot of trouble last time around. We had like 3 spare batteries that we were rotating, but there were days where I would go, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours without my team. And when you're running your phone and all your stuff and you're doing a lot of comms, either in the air or on the ground, for whatever reason, sometimes the battery wouldn't make it. And then I wouldn't have any comms with the team, and that's pretty stressful. So this time we're going to be a little more heads up about batteries. Vario, so they make you fly with the Flymaster. I'm not a Flymaster fan just because I'm a Flytech guy and I just like the Flytech. I've always used the 6030, which would obviously not be a very X-Alps type of instrument. It's more of a comp instrument. But I used this in Alaska and I really enjoyed it. XC Tracer, there's many other, there's the Blue Sky Vario. I think they're all pretty similar. They work on accelerometers. I have found that I don't fly as well on these. I like the averager of a proper Vario, like a Flymaster or a Flytech. I just seem to find the core.
Can you just tell us the difference between accelerometer?
Yeah, accelerometer is basically just, it's instant. Whereas they're quite handy. They're really cool instruments, and you'd think that would work really well because it's instantly telling you what to do. And you can change the audible. You can go in and program the software and change the audio for it. But I have found that that's tricky. I just find that when I'm trying to map the climb in my head, instantly knowing what's going on, I find trickier than the just averaging. So I'm still getting used to this, but I definitely don't climb as well with this. So if I don't keep up with you guys today, that's the reason. It's that damn. No, but.
Don't like to say that. I sell them here.
Do you? No, but look at this thing. It's tiny and it weighs nothing. For bivvy, this is the device, or something similar.
Link with an iPhone is brilliant. Link
Yeah. I just link it to my phone. Sorry, that should be out here too. I got my phone here somewhere. That's another piece of the kit, would be the phone. So on my flight deck in the X-Alps, I've got, last time I had the DeLorme. This time I'm going to have it somewhere else because it doesn't quite fit. But a DeLorme and a phone and your Vario. So, but like I said, they make us use the Flymaster Live. So I'll probably have that, and I'll probably have this as a backup, something along those lines. So, and then this is just representative of food. This wouldn't be the food I'd have, but that's pretty much it. So about 8 kg without food, and maybe that's a little bit of water, but that wouldn't be too much water, obviously. So when you start, on a day where you're thinking you're going to be away from your team for a while, that obviously goes up a couple kgs, just water and food, and maybe more clothing depending on the kind of the day. You guys heard me talk about last night. I go with quite thin gloves, but I do a lot of ice baths with my hands in the months before the race, just so I don't have to carry great big gloves. It changes the vascularity of your hands. Alpine climbing trick, so you don't get cold. Because in the X-Alps, it's kind of impossible to anticipate how the day's going to go. I had days last time where I was doing 5 and 6 flights a day. And then you have, big days, and you're up at 4,000 meters, and it's really wicked cold, and you're underdressed. So that's basically it. The bivy kit that is obviously what you saw me in Alaska with was, this is 8 kg. Alaska was 30. It's a totally different ball game, and that's multiple day, and you really have to just look at the task you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. Why would you carry much food in the Alps? There's no point. There's a town and a village and espresso at every top of the mountain and at every bottom, and you don't need that much stuff. When I fly bivy at home, I never, actually not when I'm flying bivy, when I just fly at home, I never have the pad in my pack. I've got a sleeping bag, I've got my trekking poles, I've got a headlamp, I've got food, I've got water, because it removes the fear in your head that I don't know if I want to go over this coal, or I don't know if I want to dive deep, or I don't know if I want to leave that road. If you have those things in your head, you're going to land on the road. You're not going to go over the coal, you're not going to go deep. So you need to remove as many of the hindrances and the blocks that you can. And the way you do that, one of the ways you do that is having enough kit, that you're going to not be maybe comfortable for a night, but you're gonna survive. Like where I live, we don't have to worry too much about rain and shit weather like you guys do. So maybe you guys need a bivy sack, or maybe you need a tarp. You kind of need to adjust for where you are. In the Alps, for sure, you need that. But also in the Alps, you could just fly down and get a little B&B or something. It's much easier. Where I fly, there's, as soon as you go out of my valley, there are roads, but there is nothing. And so then, the chances of spending a night out are pretty high. And if you've got a sleeping bag and some food, you're going to have a pretty nice night. Absolutely headlamp. There's some things that are just safety-wise. If you keep expanding it, then, you need to add first aid, and you need to add repair kit, and you need to add a lot of that stuff on the list. So you just kind of have to match what you're trying to do with what you have.